Hello everyone, it's Jen. Welcome back. Okay, so I'm here to start off 2025's Read Like a Booktuber vlog series. So my first booktuber that has agreed to help me is Amber over at Books and Beaches. Thank you so much, Amber. I really appreciate you putting in the time to decide which 3 books that you want me to read. And so I decided for this series that I am going to do a vlog. I'm going to do a vlog of me reading all 3 books. So this is just an intro, let you know that Amber's my first booktuber. I'm going to enter a clip here in a second. She's going to explain the 3 books that she chose and why. And then I am going to vlog while I'm reading those and put out a video at the end of February giving you my final thoughts of how closely our reading taste align. For this series, I have decided to try something different in my rating just to keep it even. And so I am going to do, I don't know if I am saying this right, but the CAW pile. So CAWPILE. C is for characters, A is atmosphere/setting, writing style is W, P for plot, I for intrigue, logic and relationships for L, and enjoyment for E. So out of all of those, I'm going to give a 1 through 10 rating, and then I am going to transfer that into a star rating. So I'm going to take all 3 books, do the same thing. That way each booktuber I read like this year will have the same exact rating scale. And at the end of the year, I will be able to kind of rank 1 through 6. Who do I closely read the most closely to the least close to, or similar. I hope this is making sense. So I'm going to enter the clip now. And I'm very excited to see what Amber has picked for me because I have not watched this video yet. So here you go. I'm going to enter that clip for you here.
Hi, my name is Amber from the channel Books and Beaches, and I am so thankful for Jen for picking me to be part of her Read Like a Booktuber not necessarily challenge that she's doing, but reading event that she's doing. And so I have 3 books that I think she definitely needs to read. The first being The Family Game, and that is by Catherine Steadman. Now, this is such a perfect book to read over the holiday time, because it starts at Thanksgiving and it goes through Christmas and takes you on quite the journey with a wild family. And since Jen loves a good thriller, I definitely think she needs to read it. I did not expect the twists and turns that this book took me on, and I have really enjoyed I think it was 2 different books that I've read by Catherine Steadman, and so that is the first book that I think Jen definitely needs to read. The second is one that I am shocked she hasn't picked up yet, and that is Falling by TJ Newman. Now, I believe you've at least picked up one TJ Newman, if I'm not mistaken, Jen, but this is, I want to say this was the first book that she came out with. And so this one is written from the perspective of our pilot. And so it says, you just boarded a flight to New York. There are 143 passengers on board. What you don't know is 30 minutes before your flight, your pilot's family was kidnapped. For his family to live, everyone on your plane must die. The only way the family will survive is if the pilot follows his orders and crashes the plane. So this pilot has to decide, is he going to kill his family or crash the plane? And this is so intense, and I loved every minute of it. So I do believe you read Drowning. Love that book too, and I really enjoyed her 3rd book that she came out with. So I definitely think you need to pick this one up, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts about it. And then the 3rd book that I think you need to pick up, I actually don't have here with me because it was an arc that I read earlier in 2024, and that is The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. Now, the reason I want you to read this one is because it's a little bit of a controversial read. Controversial being the fact that a lot of people have differing opinions about it. I really, really enjoyed it. To me, it is like the mystery version of The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. We are getting a woman who leaves her estate to her adoptive son and basically has outlived 4 different husbands. And you get the perspective of all of these different lives that she's lived, and the family that's left over doesn't understand, why her adoptive son is getting this. So you're figuring out along the way what's going on. And so I want your opinion about what you think about the book, since it's so hit or miss for a bunch of other people. So I can't wait to hear what you think about all of these reads, and I hope you enjoy them.
Okay, yay! I am so excited. I already feel like we read exactly the same because I own all 3 of the books that she mentioned. They're already on my shelves. So, Falling, TJ Newman. I loved another TJ Newman. Amber was right. I was wanting to read this early in 2025 anyways, because I don't have any trips with flying planned anytime soon. The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. I love Rachel Hawkins, her writing style. Even her underrated books, I always am like the outlier. I think I've given all her books 4 or 5 stars. And then The Family Game by Catherine Steadman. This is one that I actually wanted to read in December and didn't get to, so this is perfect. I believe this one takes place between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Yeah, that's right. So that's over, but hey, it's okay. It's still wintry. It's still January. I love the back of this book. It's this bright purple color. Isn't that fun? So those are the 3 I'll be reading. I am going to pick up this one first. And then just depending on how January goes, maybe I'll read one more of these, or maybe these will both be in February. I don't know. But by the end of February, you will have a vlog of my reading experience and my final ratings for Amber overall, and these 3 books. So I hope that makes sense. I'm hoping this goes well. I might save these both for February, only because in February I tend to go a little heavier on the romance books. So that would be a nice break up from the romance, these 2 more mystery thrillers. So, all right, well, there you go. I will see you at the end of February for my final thoughts on how closely I read to Amber. You guys have a great day. Hey everyone. Okay, so my first thoughts for The Family Game by Catherine Steadman. I read only the first 5 chapters, but I want to just hop on here and give you my initial thoughts. So I've never read a Catherine Steadman before, which I think I've already mentioned, but I like the writing. I'm already engaged by the first few pages. Definitely intrigued on what's with the secrecy and this dinner invitation and meeting his family. Like, from what I'm gathering, they're like the 1% of the 1% as far as wealth is going, or goes. I'm not sure, but I am loving their sweet little romance. I love the scene at Rockefeller Center, Rockefeller Plaza with the Christmas tree, and it's winter and it's all the cozy vibes, and it's perfect for this time of year to be reading this. And yeah, I mean, the writing, I'm engaged in the story, but the writing is your typical thriller writing so far, if that makes sense. Like, nothing is blowing me out of the water, like blowing my mind with the writing. It's definitely good writing, but it's not anything special. But I'm already intrigued and engaged and already like the 2 main characters, so this is promising. And I'll give you my thoughts about halfway through, and then of course at the end. So yeah, I'm excited to keep reading this one. I'll check in with you guys soon. Okay, so I'm halfway, same day, but I'm not working right now, so I've actually been able to just chill and read and get some stuff done around the house. I started putting away Christmas decorations, so I did switch to audio for a little bit. One thing about the audio book is when the audiobook narrator, I can't think of her name, I'll put it here, she is great, but when she does the voice of one of the American characters, or the American characters in here, I can't stand it, because she's British and she's got a great voice for, I'm enjoying her voice, but just how she tries to do her American accent, I'm not a huge fan of. So as soon as I'm done with what I'm doing today with taking down Christmas decorations, I'm gonna go back to reading this physically, I think. But other than that, it's going really well. So I'm not going to do any spoilers, but in the jacket cover of the explanation of the book, she gets this tape from her future father-in-law, and there's a confession on there. And so I'm definitely intrigued. We got through the part where in the middle of December they play one of their first games, and it is so creepy. There is a Krampus scene in here that was super unsettling. I'm really enjoying where this story is going. I already have some guesses. I have a feeling I know what the twist is going to be, but I could be wrong. It could be wrong. But either way, I am enjoying this book for sure. Any other things that are sticking out without being spoilery? Just the audiobook I wanted to mention. I'm definitely... It's interesting to see how this 1% lives. It's kind of mind-blowing that they play these crazy games and all this stuff. But I'm still rooting for a good outcome for Harriet as she kind of figures out this weird eccentric family has tons of money, and you're getting a little bit more of hints into her backstory and why she doesn't have a family. And I'm enjoying that storyline as well. So I will check with you soon. Apparently the microwave's going off. I don't know if you guys heard that. Someone was yelling. Everyone's home right now, obviously. But yeah, I'll check in with you and give you my final thoughts. Bye. Hey everyone. Okay, so I finished The Family Game by Catherine Steadman, and I really enjoyed it. I will go over my different ratings for the cow pile, however you say it, and give you my final rating on this one. Let's just say the end wrapped up quickly. Everything happened pretty fast. More cat and mouse games, more creep factor. I was right about the twist. So that kind of sucked for me because I was right. And there was just no logic behind it, which makes sense that there was no logic behind it, but I can't speak more to that because it would spoil the book for you guys. So yeah, it was good. Overall, I'm landing on a 4-star. And to kind of break it down with for the characters out of 1 through 10, I'm giving it a 6, and that's because Harriet, the main character, is the only one I really cared about. We didn't get much. The other characters were in there, but you didn't get any character development. They just kind of moved the plot along, so that was just fine. So the character 6. For the atmosphere, I gave it an 8 because we did have some creepy vibes. It's crazy, these games this really rich, uber rich family plays. It's just kind of bizarre. But the atmosphere of the house and the atmosphere during while these games were being played was definitely unsettling. So we're going to give it an 8. For the writing, we're going to go with 7. It's rare that I'm blown away by the writing in a mystery thriller. It's more the plot and or the twist that get me that higher rating. But the writing, I didn't find any flaws with it really, but nothing that blew me away. So that was a 7. Let's see, what's next? Let me look at my thing I was looking at. P for plot, I gave that a 7 as well because the plot fit the story. The plot was engaging and kept me moving along, turning the pages, but the plot was definitely, you had to suspend your belief and eye roll a little bit, but that's fine. Intrigue was an 8. I was definitely intrigued. Logic / relationships, I'm going to give that a 7 only because, like I said in my first update, I really enjoyed the relationship between, it almost started off like a quick romance for the first 50 pages, and then you got into the mystery with Harry and Edward, or Harriet and Edward. So as far as the relationship goes between them, I enjoyed it, but there also was some logic issues for me, so that's why it's only a 7. And then my enjoyment overall was an 8. So that all adds up to 51. And then you divide that by 7. And that gives you a 7.29, which is equivalent to a 4-star. So for the family game, I'm giving it 4 stars. Definitely glad I read a Catherine Steadman. It won't be my last. I definitely had a great time reading this. The enjoyment level was there. I read it in 2 days. And I guess the audio narrator is actually the author herself. So she did great. I just didn't care for her American accent, but that's the me thing. I'm weird with accents. But yeah, so there you have it. So time to pick up my second book from Amber. I honestly don't know what it's going to be because right now I'm starting Dead of Winter, which is on my regular January TBR because of the outside. We are in a 24 plus hour, maybe, I think it's called Storm Blair, but basically a snowstorm that is cruising through the area. Started today around 11 and should be going through, I think the storm watch advisory is through like Tuesday morning. So we will see if I go into work tomorrow or not. I work in a school district, and so it's a professional development day, and so there's no students tomorrow. And same with my kids, they're in a different school district, and they don't have school tomorrow. So it'll be interesting to see if we still do a professional development, but do it like at home, on a Zoom call, or if they're going to cancel it completely. I do plan on getting on my computer and working tomorrow regardless, because I'm sure I have lots of emails over the holiday break to catch up on. So it'd be nice to get like a head start on the return back to school before the students get back. So that's my plan for tomorrow. But yeah, I'm going to pick up Dead of Winter because it's fitting. I actually picked it up already, but I'm going to pick it up again and read a little bit. But I just want to give you my final thoughts on Catherine Steadman's The Family Game. I will check in soon. Bye. Hey everyone. Okay, I'm here with my second book for Read Like Amber. And I'm going to pick up Falling by TJ Newman next. This one's pretty short. I think I'm going to fly through this. It's actually a weekday when I'm starting this, and second thought, I probably should have waited till like a Saturday morning so I could binge it in one day, but I am ready to pick this up. So this one is something I would guess that I'm going to give this 5 stars if I'm basing it on Drowning. I loved that book by TJ Newman. Very excited to pick this up, and I will check in when I get started here in just a minute and let you guys know my initial thoughts. I'm actually sitting down on a heating pad, nursing my lower back into my leg. I don't know what I did. Old age is not for the weak, I will tell you that. As I'm getting older, I'm like, I don't even have a cool story of how I hurt my back. I did shovel some snow out of my driveway, which fatigued my back, and a different part of my back was hurting. 3 days later, that went away. And then yesterday morning, I was getting out of my car to work. I'm standing outside of my car. I reach over to the passenger side to grab my work bag, pulled my back somehow. And I went to the gym yesterday for the first time since before the holidays, because I promised 2 friends I would go. It was no excuse Monday. We're getting back in the gym, and thinking it would help loosen up my back. Even though I babied my back, I modified some exercises. I still think I irritated my back, and it was a bad choice. So anyways, long story short, I'm going to be sitting on a heating pad reading. And I actually brewed some coffee just to kind of keep me warm because it's snowing outside. And when I do my check-in, it may be dark and I might be in a completely different lighting, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'm excited. So I'll check in soon. Okay, so first check-in, chapter 5, about 53 pages in. I am not surprised at all by my first reaction of this book. It is exactly what I thought it was. My back is killing me, but I'm glad I have this distraction to pick up this book. I am going to continue reading, but I just wanted to let you guys know that this is exactly what I was expecting to get. I am drawn in, I am hooked, and I'm not going to be able to put this book down. I really should have started it on a Friday. I have a feeling this one's going to keep me up pretty late. I am going to try to take some medicine for my back, so I'm not up all night. I'm hoping it helps me sleep. But we shall see. But oh my gosh. So as you know in this book, I'm sure, I don't even know if I gave you an intro, but I can't remember. But he has to choose either his family or stay alive, or he keeps the people on this plane alive. He's supposed to crash the plane. And I don't see a way out. I think he has to make a choice. I don't see a way out, but I'm sure we'll come up with something. This is like super intense. I'm so impressed by how, I mean, it's only my second book by her, but like, how does she just grab me from the beginning so quickly? And I feel stressed out. I feel a feeling in my body of like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What would I do in this situation? This is horrible. This can't be happening. And I have to remind myself that this is just a story. This is not real life. But I feel like it's so real. It's so real. So that's how that's going. Thoroughly invested, hooked from the beginning, not surprised at all. And I will check in. Honestly, I might check in halfway. I could see this one, me just wrapping up my feelings at the end, because I don't think I'm able to put this down. It's under 300 pages, so it is what it is. But I will check in soon, and I will see you guys later. Bye. Hey everyone, so you're getting me first thing in the morning. I'm having my coffee, or I had my coffee, it's gone. And I finished Falling, so I wanted to give you my final thoughts by TJ Newman. So, using this whole cow pile thing is kind of messing me up, because my initial thought of this book was 5 stars. Because I enjoyed my reading experience. I didn't want it to be over. I couldn't put it down, those kinds of things. But then when you break it down into this rating system, it made it become a 4-star, or closer, like 4.5 if you're going half stars. So that got me thinking, okay, I enjoyed Drowning more than Falling. I would rank Drowning first, Falling second, and then her third book I haven't read. So that being said, then the 4-star made sense. So let me just break it down to you. So for the characters, I gave it an 8 out of 10. I really liked all of the main characters, from the flight attendants to the cop that was the nephew of the flight attendant, to obviously the pilot and his wife. You know, I enjoyed all the characters. As far as they were believable, they were, I felt like this book could really happen, of course. So that's what made it a little bit scary, and why I couldn't put it down, because this is something that could absolutely happen. And for atmosphere, I gave it an 8. The atmosphere of being stuck in the plane felt real and claustrophobic. So I gave that an 8. The writing I gave a 7. It didn't like do anything special or blow me away, but I felt like the writing was good. I felt like the writing was better in Drowning. I can't really put my finger on why. This felt more like a debut, which it is, so that made sense. For plot, I gave it an 8. Again, this is something that was believable, could really happen. I felt engaged in the plot. That's what kept me keeping the pages turning, wondering how the heck he was he going to get out of this mess? Was he not getting out of this mess? What was going to happen? Intrigue is a 9 for obvious reasons. This is definitely something I couldn't stop, like, turning the pages. I just had to know the outcome. So I felt myself flying through the book. Logic/relationships, obviously the logic side of it made sense, it could happen. The relationship side of it, I felt the connection between the pilot and his wife, and a little bit between the flight attendant and her nephew, who was the cop on the ground. Enjoyment overall was an 8. Was I sad? I feel like 9 would be like, I'm so sad this is over. 10, I want to start this book from the beginning again. And so I'm giving it an 8, because neither of those things happened for me. So overall, it was an 8.1 rating, which translates into, for me, a 4-star. So I was looking at the range of the cow pile. And for example, 1 star is 1.1 to 2.2. So forth. So for 4-star, their range is 7.0 to 8.9. And 9 to 10 is a 5-star. I'm changing that a little, and so I'm going to have my 4-star at 7 to 8.5, and a 5 would be 8.6 to 10. I'm just changing this a little bit for what makes more sense to me. And so it sits right at a 4-star. It's in that 7.0 to 8.5 range. So obviously it's a stronger 4-star because of the range. And after thinking about that, and coming on here, I decided I'm happy with the 4-star, 4.5 if we did half stars. Drowning was a 5-star for me, and even as good and solid as entertaining so forth as this book was, it just wasn't quite as good as Drowning. So there you have it, 4.5 stars, 4 stars. Another great recommendation from Amber. I'm so glad I read this book. Like I said, I still have that third one to read by her. It'd be interesting to see where that falls in comparison to these other two. So yeah, again, definitely pick up Falling if you want to sit down and have a book that you can't put down, that feels real and intense and definitely thrillery. Yeah, I really enjoyed my reading experience. So next and lastly, we're going to start The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. I'm hoping this is a 5-star one, so I get a 5-star out of these 3. But yeah, I definitely would pick up something that Amber recommends so far because she's doing a good job. Really enjoyed both of these books. So, okay, I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Hey everyone. Okay, so the last book, Read Like Amber, The Heiress by Rachel Hawkins. Probably said this already, but I have really high hopes for this one that is 5 stars. I really enjoy Rachel Hawkins' writing. It just works for me. I've enjoyed everything I've read by her. What is the one? The Villa by Rachel Hawkins is one that not a lot of people love, but I still gave that one. I think I gave it 5 stars. For sure 4, but it might have been a 5-star, and I really enjoyed it. So I have really high hopes for this book. I'm going to give you my first thoughts. However, I'm already on page 112, so not quite halfway. This book's only 291 pages, so almost halfway, but I started reading it and just didn't put it down. So then I remembered, oh yeah, I'm supposed to come on here and tell you guys my initial thoughts. So really intrigued, obviously. I sat down and read over 100 pages in one sitting, so it's definitely grabbed my attention. The writing is just as I expected it to be with Rachel Hawkins. The book opens up and you're following, you kind of get a, there's a page-long excerpt from Without a Trace by Bill Narracott. Outside, maybe it was a book or an article, I'm not sure, May 2017, but this just totally sets the tone for our setting, the isolated mountains, the mountain range, and it was a perfect opener setup, in my opinion. I really liked it. And then the next page you get throughout the book so far, we're getting these excerpts that are supposed to be newspaper clippings, and so that's really neat. That opens up with a newspaper clipping covering, her vanishing as a baby from the Blue Ridge Mountains. So that was nice. And then you get chapter 1, and chapter 1 starts off with the point of view of Jules. There's definitely, I'm intrigued by Jules' character. I don't want to say why because it might spoil something, maybe, I don't know, but Jules is the fiance of Camden. Camden is the heir of Miss Ruby McTavish's fortune, so he is the son that she adopted, and so you're getting his fiance's opinion or point of view first, which I thought I wasn't expecting that, I guess. And then you switch back to another newspaper clipping, then an email. So this definitely has a mixed media format, which I picked this up physically. I actually started listening to this on audio. I was going to work on my puzzle, and I was 18-ish, I found out, pages in, and I felt a little bit confused because, number one, my whole brain wasn't focusing on the story because I was doing a puzzle. But from the newspaper clippings to the excerpt to the emails, I was like, okay, whoa. So I stopped doing the puzzle. I came back, I reread it from the beginning, and then I read 100 pages. So, yeah. So I like the mixed media. I have to read that with my eyeballs, though. It gets a little confusing if you're listening to it on audio. So you're getting quite a view. You're getting the point of view from Jules. You're getting the point of view. So when you're getting Ruby's point of view, you're getting it through letters that she has written to Camden that go back in time and explain, you know, her first marriage, and you pick up from there. Her letters are from the desk of Ruby A. McTavish. So, again, getting a lot of different formats. You're getting more than one point of view. We have Jules' point of view. We have Ruby's point of view. And then we have Camden's point of view. I think that's it so far. Yeah. And then you're getting more, you know, articles and newspaper or magazine clippings along the way as well. So I'm on chapter 7, 112 pages in. The reading experience has been very enjoyable. I'm very intrigued. So much has been packed into this 100 pages. It's not a long book, but I already feel like so much has happened. I'm definitely suspicious of a couple characters in here already, trying to piece together what the heck's going on. I'm now at the point where we have gotten through her first husband. Again, won't spoil anything, but great story. Yeah, all the feels. I'm really liking this. So I probably just check in at the end. I have to put it down for today. I have some stuff to do. But I have a feeling next time I pick it up, I'll probably just finish this and give you guys my final thoughts. As of now, I feel like this has the highest potential for a 5-star out of the 3, but I don't want to get my hopes up. Hey, 4 stars are solid reads. Can't complain about that. So far, this has been a great vlog as far as my reading experience. I've enjoyed both books so far. So I will check back in when I am done reading the Heiress and give you guys my final thoughts and my final rating. Hey everyone, so just a quick check-in. So I read a little bit more of the Heiress. I still have about a quarter of the way left to go. Still very well could be a 5-star. I probably won't finish it tonight. I think I'm going to shower, get ready for bed, paint my nails, watch a little TV. Tonight's a Sunday night, so I have a work week tomorrow. We had a pretty productive day. We went to church and out to eat as a family, just grabbed some lunch real quick, came home, did some laundry. I worked on my updating my reading journal for January, which was nice. Working in my journal always relaxes me and makes me happy. So got some of that done. But yeah, so we've gone through all of Ruby's husbands, which were all very interesting. And obviously won't tell you what, but there's been some kind of reveal in the story. Not sure how I feel about it, and not in a bad or good way. I just need to process it, I think. And then where's the book going to go from here? That's what I need to process. Like, it's really going to depend on this last quarter of the book, if this is going to be a 5-star or not. Like, I feel a little bit as a reader, of course I don't know what happens because I've never read it before, but I feel a little bit lost as a reader. Like, I don't have any guesses. Like, there's got to be more twists. There's got to be more twists. So I'm looking forward to seeing what, what the author does in this last 25% of the book. And, feeling very lucky that Amber has picked 3 thrillers that are more on the short side, so I've been able to fly through these. This has been a great experience so far for my first round of Read Like a Booktuber. So I will finish this book, be back with you guys, tell you my final thoughts, my rating, and we'll just kind of have a little summary of all 3. So, all right, happy Sunday. I hope everyone has a good week. Bye. Hey everyone. Okay, so I finished the Heiress. I just wrote my thoughts in my journal. I'm still torn between 4 and 5 stars, actually 4.5 and 5. So we're going to let the cow pile system just do its magic and see what it's going to be. So my final thoughts basically in the book are, it's definitely an addictive read. It's definitely a thriller that is a little bit more on the slower pace, but I never felt bored. I was very intrigued the whole time. Definitely had twists and turns that I was very surprised and I enjoyed. In my last check-in, I had mentioned there was a twist that I wasn't necessarily surprised about, but I was like, well, now what? Well, she definitely did a good job moving past that point, and there were twists and turns that I didn't see coming. So up until the last page, I still was kind of guessing, which was very impressive. Very multi-layered. I never felt confused. I liked how it went through the letter format for Ruby's past point of views and all her husbands. I thought that was... I enjoyed that part of it. Definitely loved the claustrophobic vibe of Ashby House. And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised how suspenseful it was and page turning it was, even though it was slower pace. I don't know if that makes sense. So right now I'm torn, but let's see. So for character, I'm going to give it a 9. I really enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the characters in this book the most out of all 3. The atmosphere setting, I felt like the setting was kind of tied. It was a 9, but just the setting was good and falling. The settings were all different. I like this setting better than the family game, I think. So 9 for that. Writing, we're giving it a 9. I feel like this was the strongest writing that we got out of all 3 books. I definitely love Rachel Hawkins' writing, though, so I'm a little biased. The plot was a 9. Definitely, like I said, kept it moving, kept me engaged. The plot wasn't something I necessarily have never read before, but it was definitely very enjoyable. No complaints with the plot. Intrigue, another 9 for intrigue. Definitely was intrigued the whole time. It definitely kept you guessing. Like I said, definitely surprised and loved all the little twists and turns we got through the whole story. So definitely a 9 for there. Logic/relationships. I'm going to go with the relationships. Logically, I don't know how I feel about that, but relationship-wise, I definitely, as messed up and twisted as some of the relationships were in this book, I thought they were very well done and believable and both good, both bad, all of it. So I really liked the relationships in that one. Giving it an 8. And then for overall enjoyment, I guess an 8. I don't know. Maybe that's not fair. Maybe it should be a 9 because I did enjoy this one the most out of all 3. So yeah, so I guess when I added up, let me be right back. Let me look at some math. Okay, so if we add them all up, so we got an 8 for logic relationships, 9s everywhere else. That's an 8.857, so 8.9, which puts us at a 5-star. So yay, we got a 5-star out of these 3. So that kind of sums it up. Like I said, the Heiress was my favorite. I would say then Falling, then the family game. But overall, I really enjoyed all 3 of these. Like I said, they were books I already owned on my shelves, so I was looking forward to them. I'm keeping all 3 on my shelves, which is really exciting. I don't need to unhaul everything because I definitely would recommend all of these books to family and friends. All were very, very good. So that wraps up my first round. I'm so excited. I actually was able to read all of these books in January. So that was kind of nice too. So I'm going to reach out to my next YouTuber that is going to suggest me books, and I will have that out. It will be, let's see, March into April. So sometimes in between March and April, I will have the next round out for you. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in my next vlog or video. Have a great day. Happy reading. Bye.